Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Today is going to be part 2 of the gem store breakdown, and today we're going to break down the bag expansion, the bank expansion, and the character expansion. So in this video, I'm going to compare everything you need to know, give you all the information, give you the pricings, tell you which one is better, and which one you should consider buying. I can't tell you how to spend your money, but what I can do is give you the value of everything and let you decide on your own which one you want. So we'll start with the bag expansion. So as you can see on the screen, I have a list of basic things that you should know about with the bag expansion. I'm not going to go over all these, but I'll try to just talk about the basics. So number one, a bag expansion is going to cost $5 or 400 gems. You have to remember, though, you have to at least spend $10 in the gem store. You can't go under that. So with $10, you could buy 2 bag expansions. Each character is going to start with a 20-slot starter backpack. If you really wanted to, you could create 5 characters and you would have 100 slots of space. I would not recommend doing that, but if you want to save your gold or save your gems, you could do that. You could buy bags from the vendor for 32 copper, 4-slot bags. I would recommend doing that if you have enough money. And just from the bags and the starter backpack, you start with 36 slots. And that's a lot of room. You might think, 36, that's not a lot. When I was questing, I was picking up like everything I could find. And I would fill them up, but I would just sell it, sell most of the stuff to the trading post or delete most of it or sell it to a vendor. I didn't really find myself running out of room. During the late game, or I'm not quite sure what level, but you're going to be able to make 20 slot bags for 10 gold. I've been reading on the wiki, people on the forums have been saying that. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be more than 10 gold, so I'm just going to take their word for it. So if you're able to make 20 slot bags for 10 gold, one bag expansion is going to be 25 cents each slot, like each space in the bag. So just take that into account if because that's where your money's going. I would not recommend, don't do this, guys. Don't buy bag expansions if all you have is 4-slot bags. So let's talk about the bank expansion next. So the bank expansion is going to run you 600 gems or $7.50. Any character can access your bank. You have to remember that. So if you're the kind of person that likes to transfer a lot of items or store a lot of items, you might need 1 or 2 bank expansions. When you first make a character, you're going to have 30 slots in your bank, and each expansion is going to expand it by another 30. You can do this 7 times for a total of 210 spaces. That's a lot of space. You're not going to use all that. You might. I don't know. I didn't even use the bank, so I'm not even quite sure how it really works. But that's a lot of space if you want to spend the money for it. Now, if you did the math, each unit in your bank, if you bought a bank expansion, it would cost you 25 cents for each unit. One space. So it's the same as the bag expansion, but you also have to remember that the bank expansion is more money, but it does give you more room. It gives you 10 extra slots. So let's move on to the character expansion. They're going to cost 800 gems or $10 each. I believe it's the most expensive thing in the gem store, but I could be wrong. It's a bit pricey if you ask me. You always have to remember that one character always starts with a 20-slot backpack, and if you're able to go to the vendor to buy 4-slot bags, you will have a starting total of 36 slots just from level 1. Now this is where it's going to get a bit confusing maybe, or you're not going to quite understand this. Early game, it's going to be $10 of course for a character slot, which in turn you will be able to hold 36 slots, not including bag expansions. This is with no bag expansions. That's going to be 27 cents per unit or per space in your bag. Now, if you go back and you remember, the bank expansion was 25 cents and the bag expansion was 25 cents. But late game, if you're able to make 20 slot bags, this is very important. And you can send these over to your other characters. Well, it's only going to cost you 10 cents per unit, and you're going to be able to hold 100 slots. And that's really good. It's about 10 slots for $1 if you're able to make the 20 slot bags. Of course, I believe they're going to cost like 10 gold to make too, so you have to factor in how much gold and, is it worth it or not. But altogether, 100 slots if you're able to make these bags. So, is it worth it or not? That is the question. Which one is worth the most, and which one should you buy? Well, so if you're looking on this comparison, then you can definitely tell that the character expansion is going to give you the most amount of room for the least amount of money, even if you only have 4 slot bags. This is key. Even if you only have the lowest bags in the game, you are still going to get the most room, and you're going to save yourself money. So I just want to throw that out there. It's going to be a pain in the neck probably, having an alt where you have to store all your items on a certain character and then send them over through the bank. But it is the cheapest and most effective way. And on top of that, if you have 20 slot bags, well, it is no question, without a doubt, the best expansion to buy. Because you're going to get 100 slots, which is way more than the other two by a long shot. It's 3 times the amount that a bank expansion gives you. So, number one, I would recommend the character slot if you're thinking, you need a lot of room. This is where it gets tricky. I don't really know where to put number 2 at because it's going to depend on how you play Guild Wars 2. If you have a lot of characters, like more than 3, then I would recommend the bank expansion. But on the other hand, I don't really like how, all your characters can access your bank, because that takes away from a lot of space that each character can have. Because if you have, let's say, 4 or 5 characters and you only have 1 bank expansion, well, I think you're going to run out of room really fast with all those characters. But if you play 1 character and you're only going to stick to, 1 main character, then, the bag expansions might be for you. If you have, or if you're able to make 20 slot bags, then I would definitely pick up the bag expansion. But like I said, if you only can make, or you can only buy, let's say, 4 slot bags or 6 slot bags, I would, maybe 10, you would buy the bag expansion, but anything lower than 10, don't buy the bag expansion. So that's the final verdict. Buy the character expansion first, and then determine which one you want after that. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll talk to you guys in a couple days, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.